Good morning, Jason and Katrina.
Good morning,
Morning.
to you, Dr. Merlina.
Hey, yes. This is your first time of attending, right, Jason?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, are you in the Philippines or somewhere else?
I am in the Philippines.
And who is in here? Let me see. Well, okay. Well, anyway, we are 5 minutes earlier, right? No, 3 minutes, 8 minutes. Well, anyway, well, that's good. You're new anyway, y'all. So you could introduce yourself if you don't mind. I'm recording it. I hope it's okay that I'm recording it because I'll share it with everybody. Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself before everybody comes?
Sure. Let me introduce myself. My name is Jason Tabalberg. I am from the Philippines, and talking a little bit about myself, well, I am an energetic, flexible, and fun teacher with a strong passion for teaching. Moving into my teaching qualifications, I have a degree in Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English, and I also have a master's degree in Special Education. And I am the author of a book called Diets and How They Affect the Academic Performance of a Child with Autism Spectrum Disorder, which is actually published in a renowned publishing company based in Germany called Grin. And you can actually purchase my book in different online outlets, including Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and all those sorts. And I am a licensed professional English teacher with 11 years teaching experience in 3 prestigious institutions across China. And I'm also a certified TESOL instructor. And in September 2018, I facilitated an English workshop seminar on how to teach English effectively to the middle school Chinese students, which was attended by more than 100 middle school Chinese English teachers.
Very good.
And I am confident, I am professional, and that's a bit about myself, ma'am.
Okay. Hey, you sound like either English or Australian or something. Are you?
Well, I don't really know. I kind of sound like this already. I'm not even certain. I'm really good at accents, really.
Well, you were good at it for sure. I didn't even think you were
Well, I've
Filipino.
actually taught in China for like 11 years, and
Okay.
that I've actually met colleagues from all walks of life. Well, in college, I was already like this. I mean, my accent is already like this. And I was a DJ. I was actually proactive whilst I
Well,
was a student.
that's a gift. That's a gift to have an accent like that, because I never even thought he was Filipino. And I'm like, is he Filipino or is he like European?
I am 100%. Well, I wasn't able to return to China, ma'am, because of the pandemic. So like early 2020, that's when I actually had my winter break, 3 weeks winter break. And on the time when I actually was about to fly to China, that's when the Philippines closed its borders to China, and that I wasn't able to return back to me work.
Oh no, you got stuck. All right. Well, it's nice talking to you, Jason. And
all right, thank you,
I want to welcome everybody else. I think I need to get glasses because I'm always like squinting. Okay, we have Erwin and Katrina, Elvin, Dr. Elvin, Annie.
Good evening, everyone.
Raymond is new too. Michael, Brian. A bunch of them are new because I remembered putting your names on my list. So yeah, a bunch of you. Dr. Elvin is my regular. I'm so happy that I got a reference check about him. So you may have a chance of getting interviewed and getting a job, hopefully. Did you hear from them yet?
Good evening, Dr. Merlina. Not yet, Doc. Not yet.
Okay, how many references did you send? Did you do 3?
Three, yes,
Three.
three.
You need to contact your references and ask them to check their email, make sure that they don't have anything from Little Rock that they're supposed to fill out. Because sometimes
Okay.
you won't even get interviewed because your references did not answer. So it's important
Okay.
that they open that file and they will answer, rate you, how you are as a teacher and so on. And so that sometimes that's the one that stopped them from like contacting you because you did not have enough information there. So, and I did
Yes.
mine already, so I know they have at least one.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Yeah.
Merlina.
And that goes for everybody else. If you have somebody, of course, your resume should have 3 references with an email and phone number. They're not going to call, but they will email. So the email is really important. And you need to email, let them know that if, there are some schools in Arkansas right now actively looking because school has started and a bunch of them still did not get enough teachers. And so if they need to be looking at their emails and checking them often. So in case they got they call them a reference check survey. Okay, and they open that and then it's just they see the school and then they'll be saying reference check for so and so. And they need to just fill out the whole thing. You know what? I put excellent in all mine. There's like good or poor, good, whatever. And I always put excellent on everything. And then there's a couple of places there where you have to put, what's good about this person and what are the weaknesses and, what else can you say about this person? So I usually just fill it out and since I've known Dr. Elvin, so I had a lot of nice things to say because I know you more. The others I kind of guess at it like a generic thing, but still good stuff. But anyway, so I'm observing you when you're here. Let me see. Next to me, I have Dr. Jason. Jason is the one with the accent. Jason, can you tell everybody good morning? And I want them to hear your accent.
Right. Good morning, everybody.
See, he's Filipino. Can you believe it? Anyway, all right, Brian Anthony, you were here yesterday in my wrong day.
Yes, ma'am, it's fine. It's fine with me. I've learned a lot from you. Actually, ma'am, that was the first time that I attended this Zoom meeting, and I don't know if it is an accident or maybe it's God's will to be able to attend that meeting. So I'm really happy
Well, good.
with last meeting.
We had a good visit, didn't we? I had I still feel so bad that people were staying late and I guess maybe you consider it lucky because you really did have a kind of more of an one-on-one because there were not very many. So yeah, Mike was there. Thank you, Mike. Katrina, you're new, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You mind talking to us? I told you in a warning that I usually ask you about yourself. You do a 2-minute elevator speech about yourself. And because that's the first question they will ask you when they interview you. Tell me about yourself or tell us about your journey. That's what they will ask. Okay. Do you mind doing that for me? Love your background.
No problem. Okay. So hello, everybody. My name is Katrina Mylet. I have a bachelor's degree in elementary education, major in general education. I graduated as cum laude last 2015. I have been teaching for 6 years already. For the first 3 years, I was employed in Muscat City, Oman. I was a first grade class advisor. I also teach English subjects to 2nd graders and 5th graders. I also train the 5th graders and conduct a review for them to be prepared during their ministry exams. So after 3 years, I decided to come back here in the Philippines and start my own family. So I've been teaching here in the Philippines for 3 years already. I am currently employed in St. Bernard of Clairvaux Mission School in Masbate City. I am still the class advisor of the 1st graders. I also teach some subjects to the 2nd graders and 3rd graders. And I am also the English language coordinator in the elementary department. So as a teacher, I would see myself as an advocate of collaborative learning. I really do believe that learning takes place when the students are actively engaged in the learning process or in the discussion. So for me, it's very important to have to plan my lesson in a way that the student could actively engage in the lesson. And I would also say that I see to it that all my students have an equal right to and education regardless of their religions, their race, or whatever ethnicity they have.
Good. That's really amazing because you're so fluent and you were very smooth, and you stayed with professional information. I usually ask candidates not to say your name. I mean, not your name, your number of kids and if you're married and so on, just because I don't want it to be, it's not something that they can ask you anyway. I'm not supposed to ask that because to avoid discrimination and all that. And so you don't want them to, oh, I'm not gonna hire this person because it's, this person is married and have so many kids. You don't want them to have that kind of discrimination against you, which I don't think they would, but just, you don't have to include that. And I love that you include your leadership experiences. That's always good. It makes me think as a former administrator, it makes me think that somebody need to mute their camera. Everybody, can you mute it, please, unless you're talking to me? Who is that? Brian, maybe? Okay, do you mind muting it? There's a lot of noises behind you. What, somebody's talking?
Wait.
Is that you? Maybe mute it if you don't mind. Thank you. Okay. So where was I? Yeah. So in your interviews, stick with the info. We stick with the professional info, and also include, like, why did you get into education? Why did you want to work in the U.S. or in Arkansas if you are applying here in Arkansas? Okay. For those who did not know me, I was 19 years old when I moved to the U.S. And so I've been here 35 years, and I got all my education at Arkansas State University. So I got my bachelor, master, specialist, and doctorate. I now teach for the university. I teach teachers. Actually, I teach more principals, superintendents, because I teach specialist classes. And I really enjoyed it. I retired in 2016 from the Department of Education. I was a K-12 literacy specialist, so I trained all over the state. So they kind of know me, the administrators know me, which is an advantage now that I have a consulting company because they know who I am. We were always on TV a lot because they would record our training and then they would give it to all the schools. And I was the only minority. I was the only Filipino there. So even if they might not know me, but they know what I look like. That's funny. But anyhow, so now I'm currently helping Filipinos. I brought in nearly 30 Filipinos this year. So there's a lot on my list that got hired. And I noticed, and I looked because I met all of them now. I noticed that they were my regulars. So they were like, I guess maybe more informed, I don't know, but they were the ones that really paid attention, like how to interview, what are the things to answer, how to answer that, and just really show that you are a student-centered teacher, that your heart is in the right place because it's all about kids for you. And just kind of watch for that. When you answer, try to put in example of actual kids and like experiences that you have as a teacher. For example, if I think yesterday we mentioned about if an angry parents come to your school, how do you handle that? And it was it Leila? I think that answered it very well about how she handled it. So if you have not had an experience of handling it because you've had a really pleasant experience with no angry parents, then think of somebody's experience. You might have seen it. You might have seen it in movies. You might have read something. Just remember that anytime you are talking to somebody that's mad, you need to really lower your voice down. So if they are in the 10th level, you might want to go to 2, or 3. But try to let them know that you're calm, you are listening to them. If I was telling everyone yesterday that when I was a principal, I would actually, when an angry parent comes in, that's very normal. I always calm down. I would just I do not stand up. I sit down because I want them. I'm not being aggressive to them. I will take my little note. I have this little daily book that I write in. So I would just take notes, bullets of what they're saying and what their problems are. And then I would validate them by saying, I reiterate what I heard. So this is what I'm hearing you saying, Mrs. So-and-so, that I would say what the points are. Did I miss something? Can you let me know if I missed something? And then, if they, just for them saying, something about, oh, you missed something, they really come down a little bit. And then we talk about it. So we would do point by point by point. And I would like to hear what, so anyway, then when they feel like they have been heard, because really a lot of times it's because they just want to be heard. And so then we come out with solutions together. And I think that's usually a good way to do that. It's like, let them be heard. And because some of them would feel like, hi, I'm paying taxes, and you are like, I'm just like paying you because you're being paid with taxes. I mean, some of them would feel that way, that we are like, which is true. In public school, we really are being paid by their taxes, but some people are more to use that than not, they're mad. And a lot of times it's not really about you. It's really about something else. Maybe they may have something going on in their lives sometimes, and they want to take it out on you. There may be somebody that just died and they're really upset, and they just, I always kind of think that way. When somebody's mad at me, I always think, okay, is that really me, or is that really something that's going on in their lives? So I kind of give them the benefit of the doubt, and I just like understand that this is really not about me. This is really about whatever it is that's, bothering them. But because they're caring about their child, I always say, thank you so much for being a very proactive parent. That I can tell that you really care about your child, and that is awesome. That is really good. That's what we need, and being my partner in education, I want you to be in the same page with us, and I want you to, I would kind of talk to them like I would a partner, like I would my husband, So I think if you can handle it that way, and you are smiling, and you are like, oh, not really smiling in appropriate places, you really want to show that you are taking it seriously. Okay. And so by the end, in that kind of strategy, I always have parents getting out of my office smiling. And so my secretary would always say, Merlina, what did you do? What did you just do? Whatever, that guy, one day the guy was coming in there really mad at me or whatever. And it's not me that he was mad about, it was the policy that why did his child get sent home because of dress codes. In America, most of the schools, in the dress code, you have to put because they don't have uniforms. A bunch of them don't have uniforms. When they put their hands down on their leg, it has to touch material, not skin. If they touch skin, that's too low, that's too little, that's too brief. And so anyway, so a lot of times they will be sent home and go change, or you can ask a parent to bring you some clothes. And so in this particular one, he was really mad because his kid was special ed. So, I guess he was thinking that she should get a break, but policies. And then he was complaining that, the cheerleaders have slower, that had longer, shorter legs, shorts than my daughter. And so I have to put it in context that, remember, these cheerleaders are wearing it in the context of where they should be, in the gym, but they're not wearing this in school. And also, I also kind of worried about your daughter. I don't want others to be looking at her inappropriately. I want her to be respected. And that's kind of when you talk like that you're really looking at it like he would, as a parent, that I want what's good for your child. Instead of like, some teachers would be, or administrators would do that. They would have confrontation with parents. And that is not good because, the protocol is here in the US anyway, I'm sure it's there same, that if you have a problem, talk to the teacher. And if you cannot get resolution from that, you go above, which is your principal or assistant principal, whatever that is. And then after that, if it's still not resolved, you go to the superintendent. And it's still not resolved, you go to the board, to the board members, to the school board, which is a big deal, because if you get that far, that means the other people in the lower level have not done their job of helping you. Okay. And so anyway, that should not happen. If we do our job in the first level as teachers, that should not happen. Okay. And then so you ask them, what else can we do? Is there something else that we can do or whatever, before they leave? So anyhow, that's the angry parent part is a good question to answer. And another thing that I want to talk about other things, but before that, I want to hear from everybody else that I have not talked to. Michael, Brian, I talked to you, Brian, a little bit, right? Remind everybody who you are, Brian, just pretty quickly, if you don't mind. And then I'm giving Michael a little time to get ready. So Brian, tell everybody, please, where are you and all that really quickly. Can you hear me? Brian? You're having issues with your... Uh-oh, I can't hear you. You have a volume issue.
Ma'am, I think there are two Brians in the Zoom meeting.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me see. The Brian that I talked to yesterday was Brian, you, right?
Yes, ma'am. It's
Yeah.
Brian Anthony.
Enriquez. No, yeah. All right, go ahead and tell us, and then Brian too can talk. Sorry, I didn't realize that. Yes. So Brian Enriquez, you want to tell everybody who you are and where you teach?
Yes, ma'am. So once again, good evening, everyone. I'm Brian Anthony Enriquez. I graduated at the University of Caloocan City. I finished my bachelor degree in elementary education, and I have 10 years in public in teaching in public school. I want to go and I want to teach in the United States and to participate in the exchange teacher program for me to have a better understanding of how it is to be a teacher or an educator, to become a better educator and to learn pedagogical styles of American teachers. And if given the opportunity that I participate in this program, I will teach or I will apply whatever things that I have learned to my students and to reteach these things to my co-teachers in the Philippines.
Okay, very good, very good. That part about you want to reteach the one in the Philippines, it makes me sound as an American administrator to say, oh, this person might be a very short-term person that might just be wanting to come here and stay a year or two. So you know, it has a sense of being temporary. So we want to hear somebody that would stay. So you may not, you know, although you do want to do that, and that is the thing, I would actually kind of, hey girl, they're enjoy. What are you doing? You are not working today. I forgot. Okay, these are the ladies that just arrived here. They're in their house. Do you mind saying hi? I'm sorry, I interrupted you, Brian, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. I mean, good evening.
Okay.
So we have no school today. It's our flex day. And then later we'll be going to Forest City to get our SSN.
Social security
number. Yes. And we just had our first week this week.
Yeah.
And it's been great.
That's a good break though, that they gave you a Friday off.
Yes, after a long week.
But that doesn't happen everywhere. It's just, I think you're the only one there, is Leslie. Hey, these are the 3 Musketeers that came home with me last week. Yes. Well, thank you for attending.
Thank you for helping us get through the week. We couldn't have done it without you. You were there to help us in every step of the way. So thank you so much.
We are still in our pajamas.
You're welcome. Oh, you're fine. You're fine. Say hi to everybody here. There's quite a bit of them here. So give them some motivational.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah. Tell them what.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah.
I hope you can get here soon. I'm sorry for our look this morning. We just woke up. Okay, so just attend Merlina's Zoom every Friday. We came there.
We've been there.
We attended almost all of the Zoom meetings, and look at us now. So just do that.
Have faith.
Have faith.
But that's what I was telling them. That I was telling earlier that it seems like my regulars.
I have
Aubrey, you might want to put it on mute, Aubrey, please.
Oh, cute.
Okay, K3 boxing. You have a very cute kid. Do you mind muting it for us? Thank you. All right. So Leslie, so far Leslie Abby, your week 1 has been good. You've enjoyed it.
Yes,
What were the things that shocked you or surprised you that you were thinking before you got here?
well, in my case, the thing that really surprised me was, I think my employers, my principal and my superintendent, they just like treat me as part of the team, and they think that they know already what am I doing. So I haven't got a chance to observe things from other teachers or from other classrooms. So they just, uh, get tell me to like do my thing inside my classroom, and then you have to be careful because they will be going in and out from your classroom. And I was just thankful that I didn't get, nervous the times they were coming in and out. That is because I have listened to you a lot of times, so I already know what to do. The bell ringers, the
Good.
do now activity, the things that need to be done inside the classroom. They are really
Classroom rules.
particular with
Set the
classroom
rules.
management.
Yes.
Classroom management is very important to them. So the passing in and out inside the classroom, the submission of how do you like tell your students to the way you want your students to submit their works to the front. So they are very particular to that one. So maybe during your interviews, you can also like have an idea as to how to do that one, or you
Yes.
can like search many things about it, so that you like if they get the chance to like ask you that questions, so you will know what to answer.
And
Yeah.
during your interview, don't worry. And if you get your interview schedule, don't worry, because Dr. Merlina McCullough will always be there to support you all throughout the way. All throughout the way.
I think I actually have a mock interview with you guys, did I?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
When we had our schedule, when we have our schedule for the interview, we emailed immediately Dr. McCullough and told her, Doc, good morning, and we have our interview in this, and he sent us a link. We will have our mock interview, and it's 2 a.m. here that time.
And it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon in the Philippines.
Yes. So
Yeah.
we had a mock interview, and she throws questions to us, and then we answered, and she said, "Oh, that's good, and maybe you can also add this one and this and that." So she gave us tips, and those tips are so helpful. We get through the interview, the real interview.
Well, were the questions similar though, or were they different?
They are a
Also
lot similar.
Okay.
A lot.
Yeah, you have to read the tips that Dr. McCullough has sent us. I think
Maybe she
sent
has
us
sent
to
it
us.
to you as well.
It's in the link.
Yeah.
Of the emails that she has sent us, so you have to read that one. Yeah.
Yes, those are really helpful
Those
tips.
are really helpful tips, and you really have to read that, and really just attend all of the Zoom meetings. Dr. Merlina has a lot of experiences. I want to show these guys to you because this is because she has a lot of experiences. Why? That is why she can like give us a lot of inputs with also this one here. That's all she's got here.
Oh my gosh, you are so silly. No, those are my name tags of everything I've done.
Yeah,
Oh my
she
gosh,
is
those, I
like a
forgot that you.
K-12. Yeah, she's a K-12 literacy specialist here.
Doc, we are selling you now.
Yeah, she is. She's a board member. She's a lead evaluator consultant. She's oh my God,
She's
she has a lot.
everything.
She's
She's
everything.
No,
Look
no,
at this
remember,
one. That's her.
no, it's not all about me. It's about students. But thank you for the acknowledgement.
Yes, but it is about the students. But
And your guidance.
And if you get to listen to Dr. Merlina, then you will really know what to do with your students.
Well,
That's
yes,
what.
they're biased. They're my biggest fan. I'm their biggest
No,
fan.
no, we're not. We're not biased. We're not.
We missed you.
Thank you for joining us today, though, ladies. I will see
Yes,
you
ma'am.
next week. I think Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
I was really wanting to come and get you today. I just did not feel well. And
Yeah.
Get well soon, ma'am, please.
I want to
Get
take
well soon, ma'am.
Yeah.
Do not copy us, okay? Do not follow us. We're in our pajamas, but if you attend Dr. Merlina's Zoom meeting all the time, you have to like get dressed and be like presentable all the time. This is not the right thing to do.
You're showing us what not to do, huh?
Yeah,
you are
do not
doing
do
a
this,
non-example.
do not do this.
No, you're fine.
Do what we say. Don't do what we do.
Yeah, there you go. Oh my gosh, I said that. No, you didn't.
Yes, those are your words.
Good job.
Bye,
Good
ma'am.
job. Okay, have a good trip, ladies. They have to go to Forest
Yes,
City.
ma'am.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay. Bye. If we run out, for those new folks, if we run out of time, go back to the same link. It will be the same link every time. So just, you will just stop and then go back in as a, and then I'll be there again. But anyhow, so I'm so excited for them because once they arrived here, some of them I actually met myself. But a lot of time I encourage the principals to meet them because a lot of times they're like 2 hours away or 1 hour away from the airport. And to me, that's an opportunity for the principal to get to know the teacher. You will never have that opportunity ever because they're so busy by the time you get started. But having that in the car opportunity, and you get to talk and you get to bond with that principal. And I think that's very important. And I told the superintendent that I think I would prefer that the principals would meet them instead of me. They have 3 schools have a contract with me. So I'm actually kind of their international teacher support person. And so, anything to do with them, they contact me. And so a lot of times, if I think that they should be the one doing it, not me, I just tell them. And the beauty of it is they listen to me from all the way from principal to the superintendent. They listen to me, which is, as Filipinos, we're kind of shy at first if we don't know them really well, but you can't tell another Filipino that. So they will not tell their principal something, but they will tell me. And so then I will not tell the principal who told me. I just said, well, have you thought about this? Or, I would just kind of make it like a suggestion, but really it solves the problem that they have. Okay, so even if your school will not hire me, I still will be there and helping you. But my priority will be the ones, of course, that I have a contract with, because I go every week to see them. And I still answer emails, I still answer phones or whatever, but because I'm very passionate about helping Filipinos come here, because I believe that we're helping the American students here, because in that area where there's teaching in the Delta, they call it, they are by Mississippi River, and that is the poorest area of the state. And I am in the richer part of the state. I'm 4 hours away, and most of in my community is mostly white. I am one of the only minorities. My mom is here and 2 other Filipinos, and maybe a couple of Blacks families here, but the rest are white. So, it's the racial thing, but also it's the poverty thing. Of course, we also have some really poor, white folks, but in that area, it's just loaded high in poverty. And so you have students that cannot afford to buy pencils, for example. And that's one of the learning that I did was, when I taught, there's not very many kids that would have problems like that, but in the area where they're teaching, that is very prevalent. They can't buy those materials. So as a Filipino teacher, we are always wanting our kids to come prepared. I used to say to my students, if you don't bring pencil and paper, you're like going to the war without any tools, without, without any clothes on, without any, uniform on. So you need to come with pencil and paper. And I used to say that, but then I realized that, yes, the poverty kids, I was in poverty. I was really poor in the Philippines. Of course, my parents were really supportive of school. So even if we don't have any money, but they would always buy our materials. But some parents are not like that. They don't have that as a priority, or they don't have the money at all, period. Okay, so we have to be better understanding. And I told them this, that do not get them in trouble because they don't have materials. Teachers here are given like $500 to spend in their classroom. And sometimes you order it through the secretary and they'll order it. Sometimes they give it like a gift card thing from Walmart or Gaisano here, so anyhow, they go there and they have to have the receipt, of course, and all that, and cannot buy anything other than stuff that you use in the classroom. But anyway, the point is, I told them that buy a big box, just a big box of pencils. Okay, and in that way you can give the students pencils, but only the ones that could not afford it. Of course, you expect everybody else to bring it, but if you have somebody that really could use it, do it. In my classroom before, I had like a little treasure chest, a little treasure chest, and that's what I would put all my stuff that I want to give away, and I would have them earn it by having tickets. Those little tickets that you would get, you can buy it in the store, and when you go somewhere, you have tickets, so they earn those. And then on Friday, I would have an auction. I would, then I put like pencil, colored pencils, pretty pencils there and so on. So really they're earning their things. And, but really that was my way of helping them. You know, I put food in there because you have, you know, we have kids that did not have food on the weekends, you know, they don't have much food. So I would put my food in there. And in some cases, I would actually ask the parents, is it okay that I will put, you know, a couple of things in their backpack, you know, for them to have on the weekend because they've been so good. I would just say that they've been so good, they've earned it. And the parents are okay with that. But I always communicate it because some parents may take it like, what do you think of us? We can afford to feed our child, you know, so you kind of have to always think that way. That how would the parents, you know, if you do something like that, make sure the parents know. I bought them shoes, I bought them, you know, I bought them all kinds of things, but I always ask the parents, is it okay? Would this be a problem if I do this for him or for her because he or she has earned it of the classroom, you know? So anyhow, all right, let's move on to, is this, Joel. Joel, can you talk to us, Joel? You don't mind?
Yes, hello po. I'm Joel Arojado of Manila.
Okay. Joel, if we get cut off, Joel, you come back, all of you, okay? Come back in using the same link, okay? Okay, go ahead. You're from Manila?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I worked in the public school for 17 years and 3 months now. I worked as a master teacher in mathematics. I'm very active. And now we're quite busy here in the Philippines because school year opening will be is just 3 days from now will be opening. So teachers here in the Philippines are quite busy, and yet we work with grace under pressure, and you know we do it with all our hearts, wholeheartedly. I mean, because we really love and teaching, and we want to instill in them the quality teaching that the Filipino people need. And as I say, I'm so glad to be seeing with you, ma'am, and with all these people online. It's my first time, but I'm looking forward to be in the new horizons and spend my capabilities, my talents, and my time to work abroad. Thank you.
Okay, good job. Good introduction. You are very pleasantly good facial expressions. Keep that. And I love that you kind of, you know, that you're teaching us about Filipinos. That's good that you're being global about it. And that's good. You might want to say anything about like 17 and 3 months, you know, counting the days. Are you counting the days when you have to go already? I mean, it's like, you're just like about 70 years. I don't know. When you said that, that's kind of what, you know, that's what we say when we're about to retire. I said, I have 24 and 3 months, because now I'm finally going to get there. And it make it sound like, you know, somebody with a negative filter might think that way. Because it rings here. That's what we always joke about when we are like, you know, about to retire. And also, when you use the word people, try to replace it with the word folks, because the word people here has a connotation of like you people, you know, like a racial thing, you know, like said, because it's been used by racists to say, oh, you people do this, you people do that, like that. So you say folks, the folks around here. Have you noticed me use the word folks? I still slip sometimes. I will use people, but I try to replace it with the word folks. It just sounds like it's just all of us, you know, kind of type things. So it's very, I guess, inclusive. Okay, but thank you so much. Love your background. What is that? You got plants in there and all that?
Yes, I do have plants inside my unit, and something kind of nature ambience, and you know, I so that I can think, you know, I can think of something new, and you know, it freshens my mind every time I'm home. Yeah.
You're into Zen. I'm into Zen too. But anyway, so the importance of this is that when you're interviewing, when you're being interviewed, they're gonna look at your background. So I want you to be aware of that. So if you have too busy a background, they're gonna be looking at that instead of listening to you. You don't want that. Okay, so you want it like kind of plain. I like that you have plant and then